Oh my goodness. It just dropped me in where I last left off. Okay, cool. Hello everyone, Danny here with a casual gameplay of Kingdom 2 Crowns. I won't be reviewing this game today, but I probably will be saying a lot of nice things about it. Not probably. I definitely will be. This game, I'm addicted to it. Not just addicted to it, but I love this game. This game is an absolute pleasure for me. Especially somebody who's not good with RTSs, and I'm not saying this is an RTS. Oh, I got another viewer. Cool. Hello. Hope you're having a great Valentine's Day. But yes, I'm not very good with strategy games. And this game, I can wrap my brain around it. I really do enjoy this game. I know what this is. That's the unicorn. I happen to be on what island here? I've completed a lot of these. I don't understand this though. If you look down there on the lower left hand corner, the castle is on fire and some of it's broken down. If you look at the map, I've shut the cave down where the greed spawns, so I'm not sure why that happens. Maybe it's just anarchy because I haven't been there in a while. But I have this island opened. I unlocked the Horn Hermit, and I don't understand what it does fully, but I know what it does if you just use it once. Wow, the other lands I've conquered are, I've colonized, I should say. Looks like they're in ruin too. If you look at the castles there, wow, you spend too much time away. I've revisited some of these just to see why, and I don't know, maybe it's just anarchy, because I ended up with a lot of citizens with no tools, and I had to rebuild a lot of walls. So that was really awkward and weird and odd. So here I am. What island is this? I stopped counting. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I'm on the 5th island. I haven't heard anything good about the, I can tell that's a warrior statue or a knight statue, so I've heard not to mess with that. So I'll leave that one alone. So how come the lighthouse looks like that? Oh, I never went back to upgrade it. I just went with the basic one after I shut the one portal down. Oh, looks like I'm almost done conquering this land. Or colonizing it, or whatever you want to call it. I myself prefer conquer, but that's just me. Yeah, I'm not in the mood for reviewing anything right now. I just want to do a little gameplay. If you watched the stream before this that I streamed, nah, man. Alright, well, let me get rid of some of this coin so I can make room for these gems. No, my war funds. It doesn't matter. I have so much money. It's okay. It's okay to lose a little bit of coinage. I'll go make a deposit though, and I'm definitely buying more of these. These are wonderful. I'll further explain some of this later in a review. If you want me to review this, I don't know. I'm going to review it, but whether anybody wants it or not, it's going to get reviewed. But I honestly, I don't want to spoil it, but I have nothing bad to say about this game at all. I absolutely loved Kingdom New Lands. I never played the base Kingdom game itself, but Kingdom New Lands, I just could not stop playing that game. It is so good. So good. One of the best games I'd ever played. And then, not to spoil it, but I like this one much better. So how do you improve on perfection? Ask Raw Fury. Seriously, ask them, because they improved perfection in my opinion. They and I've barely even played any of the extra out of this too. There's more to this game. I'm just playing the regular medieval setting, which I really like. I'm really enjoying this. So I have nothing bad to say about this game at all. I remember what I was doing. I was taking all this funds to make a better lighthouse so that I may return. Too much money on the ground. No more money, please, guys, please. I appreciate your enthusiasm, my people. I can't right now. By the gods. I should build that too. But I'll do this first. Monde L, that means I've spent Roman numeral L, so I am 50 days on this island. Buppers, what are you doing? Why are you running towards the lighthouse? The lighthouse is for boats, not for dogs. Thank you. Let me collect this, and then I'm gonna build that portal out. No, please, let me have it. Thank you. You're my hero. You, Hunter, are my hero. Let's get this built up, and then I'm gonna go make a bomb. Oh yeah. And then we're gonna shut down the source of evil on this island. Please, no more money. Thank you, guys. Well, I hope everybody's having a good Valentine's Day. West Coast time, it's 2:11 in the Americas on the West Coast. Or at least on the West Coast of, say, Seattle. I'll just say that. So it's 2:12 Seattle time, I guess, is what I should properly be saying. Oh, there's the bomb maker right there. Or the bomb station. I love how it gets higher pitched. Raw Fury, please. I don't know if the music is copywritten, but I've already gone through this twice. I hope your music isn't copywritten, and if it is, please put it in the options menu and let me know. or let folks like me know who are trying to stream and not get copyright notices and strikes, it is majorly appreciated. And I'm asking kindly if developers, any developers watching this, please work with us here, please. These reviews are free advertisement. Like, I paid for this out of my own pocket, this game, gladly too, because I loved New Lands. Now, if that game sucked, if I thought it was just a big stinker, I would have rated it accordingly so and told people not to buy it. And the few people that have watched it, they'll know not to buy it if they have similar tastes in games. Now, this isn't a threat or anything. I'm just saying this is free advertisement. Now, if you cut me off at the knees, I can't do that if you put copywritten music in there, because now I have to have the music off, and that makes for an extremely boring watch, especially when I'm just streaming it directly from the PlayStation 4. I'm not streaming this through a computer to where I can change the music to, what do they call that, public domain music? I can't do that. So if you developers can work with streamers like myself and just, it's very small what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for a whole lot. I'm just asking that you make it be known to folks like myself, to small channel streamers like myself, that there may be something, you know, there may be an obstacle with YouTube that I may come across, because they are sticklers for giving folks copyright strikes, and yet they have no problems. They have absolutely no problems putting ads on videos that are copywritten, like TV shows and stuff that are put on there. Those are still, some of those shows are still owned or are owned by bigger ones, like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. I don't know how Google is getting away and YouTube is getting away with putting ads in the show like that. You can't do that. That's owned by Hasbro slash, you know, Wizbro as I like to call them. But yeah, it's owned by Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. And yet you guys are, you know, yet Google slash YouTube is allowed to do this. And I find it problematic that, you know, Google's a big corporation. So is Hasbro. Hasbro's even bigger though. And yet Google has no problem monetizing videos that are owned by somebody much bigger, and yet that's not public domain. They have no problems monetizing that for themselves. I have an issue with that. That is very problematic to me, because now Google and YouTube are bullying smaller channels. Just ask Bithead 1000, Jesse from Bithead 1000, his channel Bithead 1000. He will tell you all about it. And in fact, some of his videos he mentions that, and he has a funny song in regards to his experience with YouTube and Google. They're not positive ones either. They're very much not positive experiences, and his song reflects that. Although humorous, I can tell he's extremely frustrated. I am extremely frustrated. And again, I feel bullied because I'm being punished for something I am not made aware of, because YouTube has not reached out to me and told me why I got the strike. They just told me I had one. And they did this before with Hunt Down. I love that game. I don't want to stop streaming casual gameplay of Huntdown, but there are folks that won't be able to stream it because, you know, if they want to monetize it, because they can't. You can't do it because the copywritten music. The beauty of Huntdown, though, is the developers kept this in mind. Now, they didn't outright say, hey, this contains copywritten music, but what they did is they gave you an option to turn the copywritten music off. Now, this makes me wanting to review TMNT Revenge of Shredder a problem, because there's copywritten music in that. And so I am either going to have to review it through just the menu options, or just the starting menu, and then not give any gameplay and have to make it short, sweet, and brief, or just not review it at all, which I don't want to not review it. I have a lot of opinions on that game, and I want to share them with the world, as well as just have another really good game to review that's on my channel. These are things I would like to know about, and getting copyright strike for Dead Cells, I feel that's ridiculous. It's unreasonable, and it's BS. Nowhere did you know, on my first stream of it, me doing a blind stream of that very game, I intentionally looked to see if there were any kind of copywritten music on there, and it didn't have it in there stating in the menu. So maybe that's not where I got the copyright strike. I don't know. But Motion Twin could do me a favor and reach out and say why I got the copyright strike. That would be appreciated. I am appreciative of them allowing me to keep the video up without having to take it down, though. You know, because it says copyright notice used with permission. So I appreciate that I have the permission for it, but I don't appreciate that I don't know what I'm being copyright striked for, because that's the only thing I can think of. Because you can't copyright gameplay. Like, you can't copyright me playing a game. You can't copyright me reviewing a game. You can, however, copyright the contents of said game. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, is how I got the copyright strike. And it's pointless for me to follow the steps that YouTube have put in place, because it immediately directs you to another site to find this out. And when you go there, it doesn't give you an explanation. It just gives you a list of things it possibly could be. So a streamer like myself may never know what they did wrong. And YouTube is the type of company, a type of site, where they do that to their user base regularly too. Just to ask a lot of folks there, and they'll do that and not explain why. Just ask Charlie White. He'll tell you all about it. He even knows people at YouTube that work for YouTube, and they're not in the know at a lot of the times. So this makes YouTube an extremely frustrating platform to use. Not only that, it just makes me wish there was a better thing out there to do this with. Because, you know, yeah, you got Twitch, but they're being really shady lately about monetizations. Eventually, somebody's going to come out and usurp the king. That's what's going to happen. Don't believe me? Talk to the folks at EverQuest. Ask them about World of Warcraft. For the longest time, EverQuest was on top. They were the king. And then dethroned. Things like this happen often. I mean, if you want to look at that fiasco that Hasbro pulled, I mentioned this in the last video about the OGL, people fought back and they backed off of their monetization policies because they were in fear of losing an increasingly amount of money. What they were doing was they were chasing pennies when they should have been focusing on dollars. And what happened was they went after hundreds of dollars instead of focusing on the millions that they could potentially be making. And when the people spoke and acted, they were in danger of losing millions. The damage is already done, though. There are a lot of folks that are not going back to Dungeons and Dragons because of this. There are a lot. YouTube needs to take, Google needs to take this into consideration and account. That eventually something's going to come along and people are going to flock to it and leave them behind. Don't believe me? Look at history. It happens a lot. When people aren't satisfied, they leave. Push forward more. You know, I don't mean for this video to be a casual play / rant, but I want viewers like you to be aware of what goes on behind the controller, behind the camera, you know, or when the streaming's off. You guys need to know this stuff. I'm just in this gigantic universe of the internet. It's just a small, humble channel. And even small, humble channels like myself that have 30 subscribers. Oh, that's it. Oh, wow. I beat the game. Well, I beat the base part of 2 Crowns. I haven't bought Kingdom Northlands yet. I'm actually surprised that I beat this. Huh. Well, then. I'm gonna allow the credits to roll. I want all of these folks that have had a hand in this game to know who these people are. These folks here, all these guys, all these folks that worked on this game, you did a great job. And I want credit to go where credit is due. Wow. A lot of folks worked on this. I don't like how choppy this is, though. I mean, it's not just from it streaming on the viewer end. It's actually like this on my end too. It's like da, 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 da. It's kind of hurting my eyes. I kind of don't want to read it because of that. Or it's hard to read the names because it's doing that. But I want all of these names to have eyes on them. Well, there it is. I am free to reign these lands as I see fit. Why did this guy come along, though? That makes no... Or why did all of these folks come with me? There was no reason for them to have went into the pit, or that cave. That was one heck of a ride, I'll tell you that. This island, I think it only took me, I think I only lost maybe one or two crowns on this island here. So it didn't. I approached the island with a strategy. All right, y'all go get jobs. Now that I have more coins, I can rehire these folks that lost everything in the helps of freeing this island of the greed, their terror, and their reign of terror, and their thievery, as well as the floaty guys too, that they kill some of the people. So I've rid the island of the evil. You've all been liberated. Celebrate your freedom. Hell, when I leave, feel free to tear the kingdom down like everybody else did on the other islands. Because you are free to do whatever you want, because these walls are no longer needed now. This land can be given back to the people. Now that I've led them to freedom, they can have their lands back. You are all free to pursue occupations that make you happy. You are no longer having to be soldiers, no longer having to be hunters to survive, to make money for the king. No longer have to be farmers if you don't want to be, to make more income for the king. The economy is all up to you people now. Well, all up to the people. Look at that. So the horn, I only got to work once, but so maybe it's like a one-hit wonder item, but I liked what it did. But sadly, it's not something you want to use often, if that makes sense, because the ability to use it often is very your ability to use it's extremely limited, I should say. Doing my best to not say, you know. No, I don't know. I was hoping you'd explain it to me. I'm trying my best to explain it to you folks. You, the viewers. Be free to pursue your lives. If you want to be knights, be knights. If you want to be peasants, be peasants. If you want to farm, hunt, please do so at your own volition. Well, might as well unlock the unicorn. Free to do so now. I don't know. I gush over this game. This game is so good. So good. Be it New Lands or this. Ooh. 2 crowns. It's a very good game. I'm very much looking forward to exploring the other the DLCs in this game, like Shogun. That will be fun. You get a job too. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to... Oh, I needed 4. Whoops. I'm looking forward to trying that, what was it, Lost Islands. I'm looking forward to trying some of the challenge modes too. I'm not very good at this game, but I've gotten a lot better since I first played it. Now that I understand the game better, I did feel though that this one kind of holds your hand a little bit too much, but that's only in comparison to New Lands, because New Lands did not really give you a whole lot to work with in as far as learning what the game does. And the fact that you couldn't return to previous... Well, no, you could actually. No, you could. You could return to previously conquered islands. You just couldn't... you couldn't stop the source of the greed like you can in this game. And that makes this game a whole lot more enjoyable to really just stick it to the bad guys, if you know what I mean, because it's very satisfying. Again, I will be giving a review of this game and my thoughts and opinions, more in depth of my thoughts and opinions and feelings on this game, because I feel that this game should be played by a lot of folks. This is a very good game. It's very, very good. And I feel that this game can reach an even more wider audience than the previous installments ever could. And that's a good thing. Quite a few quality of life improvements added into the game too that make it just so enjoyable. It does make things a lot easier though, but they did something about that, which is you have the ability to increase they gave you the ability to increase the volume. Sorry, I was just staring at this unicorn, kind of like, what is this doing? Oh, that's what it does. I have too much money. And oops. Frankly, I'm not a big fan of this mount so far. I know what it does because I've watched a few playthroughs here and there, just so I could better understand the game. Like I said, the New Lands didn't really give you much to work with as far as learning the game. You just kind of had to figure it out on your own, and there are a lot of folks on YouTube that streamed this game, or not really just streamed, but they post a lot of videos on this to help newer players get better at what they do for this game. I'm very appreciative, as well as there's a few gameplay ones too that were extremely helpful. There's a channel called Neo Dynamite. I'm not sure where he's from, but he sounds like he's from the Netherlands. And an observation my girlfriend made is, you watch a lot of YouTube channels from the Netherlands, and it's not not intentional, but I let her know that it wasn't intentional, but at the same time too, I'm not, sorry, my ADHD is kicking in, so there's a communication disconnect in my brain. I apologize. It's hard to deal with some days. If I've had a lot of caffeine, it's easier to manage, but I haven't had a lot of caffeine today, so I'm having a difficult time managing it. Especially with some of the things that went on earlier today. The dog peeing on the rug, that was really upsetting. It just breaks my heart that he couldn't let me know, because usually he lets me know that he's got to go outside and pee. And he didn't do that, so I left him out of his crate because I don't like putting him in the crate. I mean, it's like doggy jail or dog prison, and it's like dog solitary confinement, and in a sense, it's animal cruelty in a sense. So, and I do what I can to keep him out of that crate. I know he doesn't like it, and I don't like that he's in there myself either. So I try to do my best to not have to put him in there. And I trusted him to not pee on the carpet, and he did it anyway. So I mean, it's, I just shouldn't have trusted him, but you know how that goes. Can I get my griffin back or no? Because that griffin was way better than this. The warhorse, I feel like they nerfed it a little bit, so I'm not really digging the warhorse in this game. The warhorse is cool in New Lands. Very, very good mount. Like, extremely. It's an OP mount in my opinion. I didn't unlock the bear mount on that island. I'm actually out of gems. I took a decrowning on one of these islands when I had, I think, 7 gems on me. So I lost all but one. It let me keep one of them at least. It was disappointing, but it is what it is. I mean, it just means I can't unlock these other ones, but that's fine. I like the system that they put into place with this too. How you unlock the stuff, and then how it carries over onto your other islands that you manage to do. So if you say you didn't unlock everything on your second island and you're on the third one and you feel like going back, you can. Or if you don't have to either. They give you many choices, and with more choice in certain games, you get more freedom. And having that kind of freedom in a game like this is extremely liberating and fun. It opens a lot of possibilities to what you can do in the game, and that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Yeah, I have absolutely nothing bad to say about this game, nor will I. I had some, there were some downsides on New Lands, but nothing you can't overcome by, like I said, looking on YouTube and finding out for yourself. Excuse me. Can I get the mighty griffin back? I very much prefer that. And that's one of the earlier mounts you get in this game too. or find. And it's well worth the coins it unlocks. Because if you stamina out your mount, stamina out this mount, it doesn't matter what season it is. The griffin will just pull a worm out the ground and boom. Back to 100%. This, in my opinion, is one of the best mounts in the game. Oh boy, I need to cough, but I don't want to mute the mic too. Here we go, I gotta mute the mic. Hey, excuse me. I do apologize for that. I have kind of a stuffy throat. A little stuffy nose too. So I apologize for the sniffles. I apologize to my one viewer that's watching right now. Watching this stream right now. I apologize to them that I am stuffy. Alright, well, I have full reign over all 5 of these islands. I don't need to play this anymore. This campaign, I mean. I'm gonna be honest. This is awesome that they give you this. Slot 1 is allocated to play with my girlfriend. My girlfriend and I started a game because she wanted to try this out. So we did a local play though. I'd like to get this for her so we can play whenever I'm at my place and she's still at hers. We can play online, kind of like with Shredder's Revenge, and we also have Monster Hunter World Iceborne that we play together, not often though, and then we have Diablo 3, and that's so we have a few games that we play together. We have a few that are fun multiplayer that we both have. Well, oh no, I don't need the money, buddy. You can pick that all back up. I really didn't need the money. Yes, please. Stack the bank. Stack up the savings. Throughout the islands and the replays, after losing my crown, I've never had to rely on the money that I've saved up and stored away, except for on this particular island, because it was so hard after being crushed by the enemy twice. It was mostly because they retaliated immediately after shutting down one of their portals. Like they punish you if you want to shut a portal down. They'll come back. They'll give it back to you too. They'll punish you. It's a real bummer too when they do, because it's painful when they punish you for it. But at the same time too, it's understandable. Because some of the mistakes I made was I didn't fully fortify both sides of the walls and fully equip them with enough archers and spearmen and catapults. So when they retaliated, they came back so hard that they crushed and destroyed my everything I built. So after losing the crown, I'd have to come back and rebuild everything except for what was left standing, and then I had to rehire everybody. It was really a painful learning experience. sometimes the retaliations, they wouldn't happen till like for a while, but some of them happened almost immediately, and I just couldn't believe how fast it happened. Some of the times I tried to shut one down and then sent out an advancing force to shut the one behind it down, and that's where the retaliation started spilling from, and I ended up losing my knights, my squires, all the archers that went with them, as well as all the archers behind the wall, the catapults, the builders or engineers. I'm not sure what you would call them. I kind of call them engineers just because they make the catapults and the ballista towers, as well as build everything anyway, so they might as well be engineers. But yeah, it was really really just a crushing experience. See, that's something that wasn't in New Lands. The ghost would tell you that. I didn't know about that, and so I would wonder, like, who's this orphan? And then it turned out it was an engineer. I was like, oh, I thought that was a crying little girl. No, it's just a small person rubbing their eyes. It took me a while to figure out what that was all about. Have any builders? Like, where did all the builders go? Maybe they're just stuck as catapult operators, I don't know. Where are you going? Why'd you stop working on it? And then why did these guys have to drop what they were doing to work on this? It's not, it's unreal. Why do my other guys have to stop work because you don't want to work? That's speaking from managerial point of view. I used to be a warehouse manager when I was employed. Now I just keep an eye out for violence and try to contain it. Well, I try to prevent violence. If I cannot prevent it, then I try my best to contain it and direct it out of the clubs that I work at. Or I try to contain it and keep it away from the client that I work for. Clients that I work for. So as either personal security / bodyguard or bouncer. Well, I think I've accomplished everything there is to accomplish, so I'm going to move on to another game. Plus, it doesn't seem like anyone has interest in watching me play this game. They seem more interested in Dead Cells when I'm not, when I have the music on and when I'm not yelling about YouTube and Google bullying my small channel. Alright folks, with that said, if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. I'd love to earn your viewership. I do a lot of retro style game reviews, as well as reviews on retro remakes. And I do some streaming here and there, casual gameplay. I also review current games, but mostly they're retro games. Or I do current gameplay, like Dauntless. I do gameplay at Dauntless. That's a good game, really good game, and it's a lot better than folks give it credit for. And no, it is not a Monster Hunter clone. There's a difference between copying directly and being inspired, and Dauntless I feel is more inspired by. If you break it down by the base mechanics of how both games work and what their themes are, there is very little parallel, to be honest. They share teamwork, and they're both action adventure games with some I don't want to call it roleplay, because roleplay, like RPG elements, because role-playing games, a lot of games get RPG slapped on it when you're not even role-playing at all. Role-playing games are games where you role-play, not games where you level. So we need to stop calling this games like games that have progression. We need to stop calling those RPG, or saying they have RPG elements. No, they don't have RPG elements. They have leveling elements. Unless you are in the game acting as your character, you're not role-playing. I'm not role-playing as the king here, or the monarch. I'm not. So this isn't a role-playing game. You don't role-play in Monster Hunter, do you? No, your character doesn't say a damn thing. Not one word. Just grunts. Or nods. So stop calling these games role-playing games, because they're not. Final Fantasy's not a role-playing game. It's just based off of a role-playing game called Dungeons and Dragons, where you do role-play. Now, the games that are made with the Dungeons and Dragons tags, those aren't even video games, mind you. Those aren't even role-playing games. What those are, they have leveling elements as well. So let's just call it for what they are: leveling games. Games with leveling mechanics. Because there is absolutely no role play in video games. None. Unless you are playing an MMO. And even then, most folks on those servers don't role play. Even on the RP servers, which are designed to have role play. So let's stop using the term RPG to describe games that have leveling mechanics. Because a rose by any other name is still a rose, and yet you cannot look at a dandelion and call it a rose. So let's stop calling dandelions roses, please. Oh yeah, before I was finishing this out before I got into that rant spiral. I apologize. That's part of the ADHD that I deal with on a daily basis. And again, you know, when I get upset and let's just say it's like inflammation for my brain and my headspace and my causes emotional inflammation as well as mental inflammation, intellectual inflammation, mind you. So yeah, so I akin when I go into these as if they were when I go into these rants as if they were like a rash almost, or like an aggravated knee injury, you know, or not aggravated knee injury, but like a recurring, you know, because it's inflammation, like your joints aching. So yeah, when I get upset, those things happen. So that's why I ranted, and I ranted a lot on the video that I streamed before this too. Well, anyways, like I said, if you like the video, please leave a like. Please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. If you didn't like the video, leave a comment down below. Tell me how you feel I can improve the channel so that I may reach a more broader audience in the future. Please keep it constructive. Please keep it civil. I do delete anything with foul language. And I don't care about your freedom of speech, because there is no such thing as freedom of speech. Don't believe me? Become a YouTube streamer. Become a YouTuber. You will find out that you will be silenced if you are offensive. And out in the real world too. Yeah, you have freedom of speech. You can go tell your boss to, you know, take a hike, or, you know, something more profanity filled. And yeah, you can say that, but not without repercussion out in the real world. So why do Americans have this illusion of freedom of speech? Just like there's no such thing as the right to privacy. There isn't. That's an illusion too. Privacy it's not a right. Don't believe me? Look at the Constitution. Look at the Bill of Rights. It's not on there. Nowhere on there. Don't like it? Get into politics and change that. Do what Ice-T says. Infiltrate the system. So yeah, I will express my freedom of choice to silence anything I deem offensive by deleting comments that are offensive. So please don't use foul language in the comments section. Keep it civil. Don't argue, please. You may argue, you may disagree. That's fine, but don't resort to childish name calling. And here we go, teleporting all the way back to the castle. Or the keep, I should say. This isn't really a castle, it's a keep. So back at the keep, so I'm gonna call it. So depending on where in the world you are, have a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next stream coming up. Possibly a retro style games review. We'll see. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and thanks for stopping by, my one viewer. I appreciate you.